So this is my first video on the channel and I just want to sort of give an introduction. So I've been trading for pretty much about 4 years and recently became profitable after many long hard years of just constantly making mistakes and doing wrong things when I know they're wrong. And yeah, so I want to make this video to give a bit of personal insight, what I did wrong, and which could help a lot of unprofitable traders out there who are, we're doing the same things as me. And what I trade myself right now is a momentum-based strategy on the 5-minute chart. I'm not going to go into too much depth on my strategy in this video anyways. I want to use this video to just highlight common mistakes that I found that I made anyways, and how to prevent them, what to do differently. And what I trade is a 5-minute breakout using round numbers. So let's just say, for example, this is actually a trade I took today, which I cut in a profit, but didn't reach the full TP. Got close. Let me just put the position back up. So took it from the 80 down, I think it was around here, once we broke out here. The 80 up to the 00 and a 1-to-1 error. That is usually my main error. I don't really go above that. Sometimes it'll be negative error, so I have another news trade strategy for after the news has came in, which I use a 0.5 to 1. And now it's pretty controversial in today's trading world where, everyone wants to be hitting 1 to 10 errors or at least 1 to 3, but it just, when you're actually profitable, you realize that it just doesn't work. And I mean, if you talk to any professional trader, they're going to tell you the same. It's just these people on Twitter who want to sell courses that are consistently hitting 1 to 10 errors, and it's just not true. A 1-to-1 error with a high win rate is way better than just a false strategy that doesn't actually work with a 1 to 5 error. So yeah, I will explain my strategy in detail in another video, but today I just want to focus on the mistakes. There won't be too much chart work in this. I'll just be more talking about situations. So the first big mistake that I see unprofitable traders make is trading on the 1-minute chart. Now, there's just too much price action on a day-to-day basis to be consistently trading the 1-minute chart profitably. There's too much noise on the 1-minute chart. You're fading longer term trends. Obviously you can use a higher time frame bias, but even if you're looking for buys here, say, I don't know, you get on the chart here and you start looking for buys, there's just so many little moves that could take you out of the market, and you could be right. And if you would just go up to a 5-minute chart, it just becomes so much cleaner, and you're not putting pressure on yourself. It's an intense environment where you always have to be on the chart. You can't miss anything. One candle could take you out the market, and it's overstimulating to a new trader who should be trading in as calm as an environment as you can get as a new trader, because you don't know how to navigate these markets. And maybe you're not a new trader, but like this video is pretty more for intermediate traders trying to make it through to the profitable stage. Maybe you're close, maybe you're halfway there. You won't really know until you get there. But look at these wicks here. If you're in cells, you could easily be taken out in just one candle, 1 minute. Not just one candle, but 1 minute. Getting taken out on one candle on an hour chart is way different than a 1-minute chart. And there's so many opportunities on the 1-minute chart to get into a trade. You could see a setup every 10 minutes. On the 1 hour chart, or I trade the 5-minute chart. I think the 5-minute chart it's where I want to be. But let's just say the 1 hour chart, you're at least waiting a few hours and for a setup you like, and you're not going to instantly be stopped out, and it's not going to, at the same time, it's not instantly going to go to take profit, but it's actually very disheartening for, a trader just to get stopped out in 1 minute, one candle. and it just makes you want to revenge trade more, because it seems like you didn't even take a trade because it lasted a minute, and that's just going to entice you to revenge trade and try to get your profits back, because 1 minute goes by, you don't really notice, and once you're stopped out, you're probably gonna, if the market keeps moving in your original trade direction, you're gonna be more enticed to get back into the market and potentially be stopped out again. This is what I mean about too many opportunities. Everything looks like it's going your way at some point. You could make a case for, it's not the cleanest bit of price action here, but you could make a case for every one of these candles. You could say, I can get into the market on this green candle, go up here, get stopped out. Say this one, get stopped out. Whatever. Not talking specifics here. And also, the spread matters more on a 1 minute chart. If you're trading with a 1 pip spread, you're obviously going to be aiming for lower pip targets on the 1 minute chart. You're not going to be trading 100 pips on the 1 minute chart. The spread is going to be a larger percent of your total take profit. If you have a 10 pip take profit, a 1 pip spread is 10% of your profits, but if you're trading 100 pip take profit, that's 1% of your take profit. So you need to be trading with tight spreads if you are to trade the 1 minute, and even then it's just tough. Talking about the size of take profits and stop losses on the 1 minute, I see a lot of traders trying to make 30 pips on the 1 minute chart, and it's just not viable. For the 1 minute, 5 minutes, and 50 minute charts, a good rule of thumb is your take profit should be 3 to 5 times the time frame as your pip target profit. So what I mean by that is, on the 1 minute chart, you realistically want to be taking 3 to 5 pips for a take profit, and that's not. And I mean, you can go as high as maybe 10 pips max for a 1 minute, depending on how volatile the market is. For something like Euro USD, that's enough. You know, what a 1 minute is, it's high frequency trading at the end of the day. So for people who are trying to get 50 pips out of the market on a 1 minute chart, you're just opening yourself up to so much more risk, because there's 60 candles in an hour on a 1 minute chart. And if you just look at some of the pip ranges on the hourly chart, you're looking at, that's just over 10 pips on this candle here. This one's about 50, this one about 20. You're going to be, if you're looking to take 50 pips out the market on a 1 minute chart, you're going to be in the trade for hours, and that's not really what you want on a lower time frame. A lower time frame, you should be, on a 1 minute chart, you should be spending no less than an hour in a single trade. Or else, why not just trade a higher time frame? It doesn't really make sense. So for number 2, I would call it shiny object syndrome. So obviously you've got all these new creators, especially in today's world. You have so much access to all these different strategies in the one place. It's not like in older times where you'd maybe have a few people making a video and the rest you'd have to buy books or learn by yourself. Now you log into Twitter and just see thousands and thousands of posts, all different strategies, and even when you're not learning this information willingly, your subconscious is taking in all of these little strategies and rules that people have in their own trading strategy that you are seeing, and it's just going to cause you to strategy hop at the end of the day. You're exposed to too many different strategies. You see the next best thing and you're trying to trade that now rather than your old strategy that you took one loss on, and you didn't give it enough sample size to even check if it's profitable. And the way these people market these strategies is that it's better than the last one. Every strategy has its own value. Nothing could be better than another strategy. Only a winning strategy can be better than a losing strategy. And most of these gurus anyways just have losing strategies, or they just give you something that they already know, that's already established in the trading world, and then put their own spin on it just to make it theirs. One personal name is ICT, the Inner Circle Trader. Every month now there's a new PDRA, whatever. I used to trade ICT. I traded ICT for probably just over 2 years. And while I did learn a lot about the market, the things he was teaching there was just too much to what he was teaching. He would just have a new strategy every month or so, or every year with a new mentorship, bringing in new things, and just the way he presents himself on social media. He's someone that you'll just follow into everything he's saying, because once you're following him, everything he says is gospel until you actually open your eyes. And like, I was one of these people that would defend him, even though looking back now, he claimed he created the algorithm to the trading markets, even though the price action was the exact same before he was even alive. He made up lies about being kidnapped, Tobias and Parsons. It's just like when I was trading ICT, I looked past these lies, and I would defend him. I'd look down on pretty much anyone who traded, in quotes, retail strategies, even though everything is retail. And see, ICT, just if you look back at old videos of other traders on YouTube, you literally see the exact same things you talk about. Read old books. It's just things with a new name. And look, there'd be nothing wrong with him teaching these things if he wasn't just a liar. Making up that he created the algorithm to the market, he'll probably say it's a metaphor if he ever gets exposed. But it's just not, because the way he says these things, he means them. And if he's willing to lie about creating the market and being kidnapped and being stalked by the FBI, it's not someone you should be learning from. And this kind of ties into number 3 as well, which is, trying to solve the market, trying to find a deeper purpose to the market. Whether there's an algorithm or not, you're not going to be able to pinpoint every move. And like, when I was an ICT trader, ICT traders they're pretty good at determining where a market is going, but I could call a 2,000 pip move using ICT concepts, but I would never execute, and no one can ever execute. ICT is like art class. Trading ICT is just predicting things. Nobody ever actually executes. I mean, these ICT traders try to look for pinpoint entries and exits according to, some 50-year-old guy who used to live in his mum's basement until he started making courses and thinks he runs the market. There's nothing perfect about the market. You may have a sample size of perfection in the market, but there's no such thing. And look, I mean, I can even draw something on the chart now, and this is what these people do. They'll have this fair value gap, and look, it's gone right to the 50% of the fair value gap. Look at the perfection. And this will all be after time, by the way. Nobody calls this in real time. Never. What ICT traders are like, they read the market and after time things. They're no good at executing, and that's what really stunted my growth as a trader. I was, so interested in trying to solve the market, trying for everything to be perfect. I was more trading aesthetics than I was actually trading, and my executions were just terrible because I was trying to read an algorithm that doesn't exist and trying for everything to be perfect. And I'd be looking at charts, trying to predict where the market's going without executing, because you don't get these perfect entries. This is not happening on a consistent basis. You aren't getting a trade as perfect as this consistently. And then you see your prediction becomes right, but you didn't execute the trade. You didn't get into the trade because you're too busy trying for your chart to look perfect, trying to solve the meaning of life. It doesn't make sense. The only thing that matters in the market is making money. And if you don't execute the trades, you're not going to make money or lose money. You'll be losing opportunity cost by not taking trades, rather than, doing art on your charts, rather than having 5,000 lines on your chart with fair value gaps from 3 months ago on the 1 minute chart. And now I'm not saying you can't be profitable as an ICT trader. If you look into the strategy yourself and you've came to a realization that this is what you want to trade, and you've tested it, it's come back profitable, you're executing day to day, and it's working, then fair play. But I think the large majority of ICT traders and not just ICT traders, but just other guru strategies that they just follow blindly. And they're just falling into a bad cycle. And I was in this cycle myself. I know what it's like. And when I finally stopped listening to these kind of people, I literally, as simple as this, I just became profitable. Because what these people don't teach you is execution. They just draw lines on the chart. You know, you're buying a course to see people draw lines on a chart. Nobody ever teaches you how to execute. And the best thing I found is watching traders and learning from traders before the big boom in course selling and, you know, internet money, all these things, because there was less of a monetization on trading back then than there is now. I mean, anyone can set up a course online now and start selling and pull out a demo account, start showing off $10,000 profits. It was a lot harder back then, and nobody was just after followers and views and clicks. It wasn't about that. It was actually about teaching trading. So the best thing I could say is look into books from 10 plus years ago, look for videos 10 plus years old, and you're going to find a lot better content. Content that actually teaches you trading, not just lines on a chart, which is basically everyone nowadays. Everyone can learn lines on a chart, it's simple. But to actually make money in the market, you need to be able to execute. And nothing is certain in the market, which is what ICT goes on about all the time. Everything's scripted, but the truth is that there is no certainty in the market, and pretending that there isn't going to make you profitable. Profitable trading is about operating under uncertainty. Having an edge based on probabilities in the market is what makes you money, not saying that the market is scripted and after timing every little move. If the algorithm was real, people would have a 100% win rate. ICT would have a 100% win rate. Now he claims, I don't know what he claims, 93%, whatever. When he first live streamed live trading on YouTube, we could see he doesn't have a 93% win rate, and then he blames the market makers for stopping him out when he opens a trade, even though 90% of his followers are trading on prop firms, which is fake money. So I don't know, maybe the firms are after fake money. I don't know. Maybe he's right and I'm wrong. But they always have an excuse for when price doesn't go their way. They'll look back on the chart and be like, oh, I missed this fair value gap. That was why price was doing this. But no, it's just simple. You're wrong. You're either right or wrong in the market. The market is always right, and it's your job as a trader to try to be on the right side. And you don't make excuses when it does something else, or you don't be like, oh, this is why it did this. You just trade the price action, and whatever happens, happens. So number 4 is not accepting losses. Now, this was a big one for me. I would move stop losses. I wouldn't put stop losses on trades. I'd close winners early. I know I mentioned earlier in the video that I closed a winner early, but this is according to my strategy, not just trading based on emotion like what I used to do. You know, losses are part of the game. Like I just said, nobody has a 100% win rate. You have to take losses. The best trader in the world takes losses, but he manages his risk. And it's not easy to get over taking losses. When you're working a normal job, you don't have these worries. Not so much emotion goes into every single trade. This is what, if you spent a long time in the market and you're not profitable, or even just starting out, and even if you are profitable, these worries are still the same. When you're a full-time trader and you have no backup plan, all of your worries go into this. Am I going to make it? Am I going to become profitable? Am I going to lose everything? Every time you click the buy or sell button, these thoughts just run through your head. And you want to protect your money as much as you can. Nobody wants to lose money. This is why trading is one of the hardest jobs in the world. Because if you go to a 9-to-5 office job, you don't have these worries. You go and do your job. The worst is that you can get fired. You go get another job. For traders, trading is all there is. And your ability to afford things depends on your trading ability and whether your trades win. Everyone is focused on avoiding pain, because as a human, that's what you want to do. Nobody wants to lose money. Nobody wants to experience the pain of losing trade, you being wrong, And it just comes down to actually being confident in your trading ability and actually having an edge that you've tested works in the market. You have to be confident in yourself, because even when you are profitable, these worries and doubts, they're still there. But if you have tested something and it works, you can overcome the worries and doubts with confidence. When you're consistently losing money, you're going to instantly think that you're wrong, and the confidence is just going to go down and down. But if you have a tested strategy that's profitable and you're executing correctly, then these doubts and worries, they don't have much merit. And not being able to take losses just results in inconsistent profits and inconsistent executions. Maybe you're scared to press sell now, you want to see a down candle even though your strategy indicates that it's right to sell now, but you wait another candle, you lose 0.2 risk to reward. Inconsistent profits, you're closing trades before they reach their TP for no reason at all other than you don't want to lose your unrealized profits. These are all factors that are affecting your edge in the market. The only thing you have in a market as a profitable trader is an edge, and even as an unprofitable trader, you either have a winning edge or a losing edge. And as an unprofitable trader, you want to minimize the losing side of that edge as much as you can, and making stupid decisions, closing trades too early, moving your stop loss, all these things. As an unprofitable trader, you want to keep as much money as possible. You're going to lose long term anyways, for the first few years, because nobody becomes profitable within, let's say, at the very max 1 year. So you know for the first year you're going to be consistently losing money. You want to minimize that risk as much as possible, and you know, you can trade on a demo account and all this. I never traded on demo accounts starting out. I lost a lot of money, but it was a lesson along the way. Now, I'm not saying for everyone to go and do that, but you know, it puts you into the shoes of a real trader, and this is what it feels like. And honestly, maybe it is beneficial to do that. Maybe don't put in as much money as I did. I lost a lot of money just over the course of 2 years, and then it got to a point where I was just trading such little amounts of real money that I just didn't care about it. So if you do want to learn a few lessons early on in your trading career, the best thing you can do is lose a load of money, because nobody likes that feeling. You're going to learn from that and know that you don't want to do that again. It's going to motivate you to become a better trader. And what I can say about minimizing risk as well is, when you're not profitable, withdraw as much as you can. Anytime you get a profit, withdraw, because there's no point building your account when it's not going to last. You're just losing profits that you've made for no reason. You know, I would say maybe withdraw once a week if you're in profit, obviously. And that's what I did for a while, but then, you know, everyone goes through the stage where you think you're profitable, but you're obviously not because you've been trading for 6 months. But yeah, and I stopped withdrawing and, you know, just literally lost everything within like 2 years. So when you're early in your career, just withdraw and buy something with it. You know, use your profits. Don't just keep it in your bank account. Go out and buy something and show yourself that trading can buy things. You know, having the money in your account, it's just going to be deposited right back in when your account is inevitably blown. You know, go out and buy something, have something to show for it, whether it's just food or a drink or, you know, a laptop mouse. Who cares what it is? If you have something physical that you can show from trading, it's good motivation for what's to come when you finally can make profits consistently in the market. But getting on to number 5, this might be a bit of a controversial one, but I don't think it is. It's the overuse of prop firms. So, look, like talking about ICT earlier and all these gurus, there's a reason why they always try to trade on prop firms rather than real accounts. You never see these people trade on real accounts. It's always prop firms. Mainly, it's because they have affiliate codes to their followers and probably deals with the prop firms themselves, and can have as many accounts as they want, spend as much money as they want from the affiliate codes, from the affiliate profits that their followers gave them. And obviously eventually they're going to get a payout after buying hundreds of accounts using your money. These traders are net negative, but since they're not using their own money to buy these accounts, they're obviously up. And this is the way they market it to you. Nobody loses in prop firms. These people will spend 10,000 on prop firm accounts, get a $2,000 payout, and post it on their Twitter and say they're profitable. That's how it works. These people never trade on real accounts, because why would they use their own money when they can use yours? So especially as an unprofitable trader, you don't want to be going anywhere near prop firms because you think it's a way out. You treat it like gambling because, look, I've got a $100,000 account. If I just trade news, I'm going to have $100,000. But you've just spent $500 to get that account. And you know you're not good enough at trading to pass and get a payout. And maybe you will after 100 attempts, but you've still lost money. And it's not consistent. You're not going to keep making money. You might get one payout and that's it. And there's way less chance of making money at a prop firm than using your own live account. Even if you're consistently losing money, it's better to be on your own account than use a prop firm, because at least if you have one good trade, you can withdraw from your live account. You can't withdraw from your prop firm until you do 2 stages, get to a certain amount of profit in the funded account. The rules are against you. On a live account, you make the rules. You don't have to be confined to a 2% risk limit. You don't have to be confined to trading within certain hours of the day. You're not going to be punished for holding a trade overnight or trading news. And then when you finally move on to a live account after making money off prop firms, if you ever do, these habits are going to stay with you. And, people say this is good discipline, but nobody on a live account actually trades 1% of their account balance or 2% of their account balance. You're not a billionaire. 10% a year of your account balance is not going to put food on the table. You need to be trading at least 3% of your account balance per trade, because 10% a year is not going to cut. 10% of $1,000 account is $100, and that can't be your yearly wage. It's better to try and make a tangible amount of money in trading rather than, trying to trade 0.5% on a trade with your $500 account, which you're going to make $10 on. There's literally no point. You're better off, especially before you're profitable, to just try and make as much money as you can, and obviously stay disciplined with it, and use the same amount every time. Use the same risk every time. If it's 5% or it's 3%, 4%. It just doesn't have to be 1%. 1% is not going to make you money. Very few people in retail trading have enough money to be trading 0.5% of their account on a trade. There obviously is a limit to how much you should trade on an account. I would say no more than 8% on a single trade, and that's even pushing it. I think 3 to 5% is the perfect amount for a live account, and that's literally impossible to do on a prop firm. And at the end of the day, prop firms are just gambling. People say trading is gambling, and I guess that's sort of true as well. There's a probability to it, and you're just betting on the probability that you'll be right. You could say that's gambling, but prop firms are a higher tier of gambling. Nobody ever shows you how many accounts they blow. They only show you the payouts and the past accounts. These people go through hundreds of blown accounts just to show you that they can get a payout. But, it's okay because they're using your money. And look, I understand that having access to a large amount of capital like that can actually make you some serious money, but it's so hard to do consistently. I don't think anybody would actually manage to keep a funded account for over 1 year. It's just not something that happens. These accounts are recycled, new accounts, all this. Why wouldn't you want to build your own account? Starting from whatever you start with and build it up. See the account balance growing and growing and growing, not just resetting every month because you blew the account. It's not viable, and it teaches you the wrong things because you're so confined in prop firms that it forces you to change the way you trade, and not always for the best. And they'll use these rules as excuses just to protect their risk. They'll say, oh, it's to make you a better trader, it's to make sure you don't blow an account, but it's not. It's to make sure that they extract as much money from you as possible. They're not doing it because they want everyone to succeed. The prop firms aren't your friends, whether you think it or not. The rules are put in place so that they make money, not you. And I think just actually looking at prop firms as a business model like that makes you understand that they're not good, especially for people who aren't consistently making profits on a live account. And look, if you are making profits on a live account, then go ahead and do prop firms. Level up your capital and put your profits back into the live account. There's no longevity in prop firms. I mean, prop firms close every month. And, the industry that we're in, how many big prop firms have gone down? My Forex funds, I think that's what it was called. I think Fast Track Trading owes like $30 million or maybe 10, something like that. It just shows that they're out to extract profit. I mean, I can guarantee that it's not because they don't have the money to pay out. It's because they've took the money for themselves. That's what works. They've not gone bankrupt. They're not losing money. You're losing money. So find a good, reputable broker and trade your own live account. It heavily minimizes the risk that they're just gonna rug pull the firm. There'd be very big consequences for a verified and licensed broker to do that. Prop firms, they do it every single day. Just take your money and close the prop firm. And it's the same people doing it as well, the same perpetrators on just a new prop firm. So I think that's about it for today. But I hope this video at least improved one thing in your trading today. Whether it's, just locking in and not entering trades with no stop losses, or realizing that prop firms aren't the way to go as a beginner trader. So yeah, there will be more videos soon. I'll be going into depth on my own strategy, free on YouTube, no courses, no secret algorithm controlling the market, just my own strategy to make money with, and that anyone can learn. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe if you want more content. Going forward, the majority of my videos will actually be chart work and work on the charts, and I might even go live in the future if people would like that, and I can trade live. But let me know if you also want these type of videos talking about, more the psychology side of trading and the mental side, and just mistakes and sort of what it takes to become a profitable trader, stuff like that. Anyways, let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.